Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about how to write a good transition sentence.
The purpose of a transition is to keep people reading through your book. And the goal is for them to not realize that you're leading them. To just feel totally comfortable, feel totally as if it's their idea to keep reading.
Well, you have to do it in such a way they don't even notice that they're being transported from anecdote to anecdote through the narration.
Right.
It's a completely
transparent, yes.
You don't even know it.
Yeah. Good transitions are fun to write, but they are challenging. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video.
To understand the how and why of transitions, you first have to consider story content.
The transition foreshadows what is coming in the paragraph.
Its purpose is to excite the reader to get them into the information that's coming next.
When they're excited, then they assume that the rest of the paragraph is going to be just as exciting.
In simple terms, the transition is just what keeps things moving. Transitions must be so smooth that the reader knows where he's been, where he is, and where he is going next. The trouble with single word transitions is that they link to the material before.
Why is that a trouble?
The trouble is because if you're trying to transition from one paragraph to another, it links to what came before. Whereas a sentence transition moves you through the paragraph much easier.
Besides single word and sentence transitions, there are also phrases that you can use.
You can ask a question, such as, is the verdict still out? You can use question and answer. You can make a statement. You can explain why, such as, many people do this, and the reason is. You can also use transitional phrases to introduce a source's opinion. For example, John Wilson says,
probably the most common transition is a quote. How does that work?
Well, it's easy to use a quote because the quotation marks themselves indicate a change in thought. So you put the quotation mark, you do the quote, and it transitions you into that paragraph. Another way to transition is to introduce a new character into the narrative. And you just say, Joe Smith came and did this. So you're just introducing a new person, and that signals a new thought. You've transitioned them from paragraph to paragraph.
Another method of transitioning is to repeat a word several times and then use that in a quote at the very end of the paragraph. It only works if it's obvious that you're doing this on purpose. Otherwise, it just sounds like you've run out of words and you keep saying the same thing over again.
Finally, the last way you can do this, a good transition, is a declarative statement where you just openly declare something. You just make a declarative statement at the beginning of your paragraph that makes a statement about what is to follow.
Just to introduce a new thought.
You're just introducing a new thought. You just come out and say it.
So it's got to be a strong statement.
Got to be a real strong statement that you make.
Yeah. And that's probably one of the most common methods, isn't it? Just a
well, the two common methods are the quote and the declarative statement.
Yeah. And you have to be careful that it's not boring.
Anything goes in transition writing. You can play with it. You can have a lot of fun in it. They are fun to write. Sometimes they're more difficult than you think they should be. But the main thing is that they have to link everything together. They have to link, if you're going from paragraph to paragraph, they have to link the previous paragraph, or they have to link within the paragraph itself. But that's their point, that they have to link.
How do you know when you need a better transition or you need a transition? How can you recognize that in your copy?
The easiest way to know if your transitions aren't working is to read your copy out loud. If it sounds jerky, you've got a problem. So just take the time. They must be smooth. That's the key. They must be smooth, that they smoothly flow.
And it's interesting how if you read it out loud to yourself, you can pick those things out.
But have fun with them.
That's the part you
That's
love
the part
most.
I like the most. So,
Well, I think it's because they're hard. And once you've done something really hard, you feel really good about it.
yeah, I guess so too. And there's nothing more fun than reading a good transitional sentence.
If this content has helped you, turn to another of our videos, How to Get an Idea for Writing a Book.